You know that being dominant isn't about yelling and fists, right? No? Then listen carefully. I'll tell you how to become the one in control, so you're respected, desired, wanted without being seen as some toxic guy people run from like the plague. Hear me out. You'll learn how to become the kind of man a woman wants to submit to willingly. Picture this. You're sitting there, calmly smiling, and the girl across from you is already looking up at you, waiting for your approval. Not because you raised your voice, not because you broke a door, but because you're the kind of strength she can trust. Strength that's calm, confident, firm, but never degrading. Strength that doesn't destroy, it builds. A lot of guys think, to be dominant, I need to show who's boss. So they start acting like typical alpha male wannabes, barking orders, belittling, pressuring. Know what happens next? The girl first gets scared, then despises them, then leaves. Because real dominance isn't about toxic displays, it's about control. You control yourself. And that means you can control her desires, her fantasies. Want an example? Fine, listen. Imagine you're sitting with her on the couch in the evening. She's fidgeting, sulking over something petty, grumbling. Instead of raising your voice, you quietly place your hand on the back of her neck, look her straight in the eyes, and say in a low voice, "Easy, little one." You know who makes the decisions here. And that's it. She instantly relaxes. Because you didn't engage in childish bickering. You stayed the kind of man she can submit to without humiliation. Remember, dominance is when you're the master of yourself. If you can't control your own emotions, how do you expect to control hers, her body, her fantasies? We're not talking about cheap tricks or empty machismo here. We're talking about your inner strength, which shows in the little things. In how you sit, back straight, no fidgeting. In how you speak, slow, clear, not trying to please. In how you make decisions, calmly, confidently, without apologizing for your opinion. Yes, you can grab her by the waist. Yes, you can say, "You'll do as I say now." But if, in that moment, you're trembling inside, afraid of losing her, afraid of her reaction, forget it. She'll sense it instantly. Women are like cats. They always smell fear. And if you're trying to be dominant through external pressure without an inner core, at best, they'll smirk condescendingly. At worst, they'll turn and walk away. But if you stand firm like a rock, if you smile calmly, if you don't cling, beg, or demand, but simply exist strong, steady, confident, she'll lean in herself. She'll want to feel your strength. She'll want to melt into you. You might think, yeah, easy to say, but I'll tell you more. This is trainable. Start small. Stop making excuses. Stop asking permission for your desires. Stop panicking when things don't go as planned. Say you plan dinner for 7. She's late. Instead of nervously texting and demanding explanations, you calmly pour yourself a glass of wine and wait. She arrives. You glance at the clock, nod calmly. Was starting to think you wouldn't come. And that's it. No tantrums, no passive aggression. You're calm. You're in control. Or another example. She starts manipulating, sulking, making scenes. You look at her with a slight smile. "Little girl, let's not play this game. You know I'll hug you anyway." That disarms her. It gives her a sense of safety. Because a real dominant doesn't get dragged into emotions. He creates a space where she can be soft because he's strong. Now, a serious point. True dominance never degrades. If you feel the urge to belittle her, make her feel worthless, that's not strength. That's weakness. Strength is when you can lift her up, guide her, make her unfold. When she feels like a woman next to you, tender, pliant, desired. You let her feel that with you, she can relax, that you have everything under control, that you'll protect her if needed, that you're the anchor she can lean on. And let me be straight with you. No words will help if you're empty inside. If you're afraid of the world, of women, of yourself, forget about dominance. Then it's better to start by putting your inner house in order. To feel your own strength, your own worth. To learn to be alone without clinging to someone for validation. Once you become whole, you radiate energy that naturally attracts. You don't even need to say anything loud. She'll feel it in her skin. Her body will respond on its own. And that's when the real game begins. That's when you can lean in and whisper, "Going to be a good girl for me?" And with a racing heart, she'll say, "Yes." Because she trusts you. Because you're her leader. Not an oppressor. Not a breaker. A leader. You don't crush her will. You direct her energy. You help her unfold where she's afraid to. You help her live out fantasies she won't even admit to herself. And that requires tremendous inner responsibility. Are you ready to take that on? Ready to be strong not for ego, but for closeness, for real connection? If yes, congratulations. You're on a path that'll open a whole new depth in relationships. And remember, kid, strength isn't about breaking, it's about holding. Holding her hand when she cries. Holding her gaze when she's scared. Holding your word when she tests you. Now, if you want to learn how to develop this in yourself, how to build confidence, charisma, masculine power, check out the other videos on my channel. There's a whole series waiting for you on how to become the kind of man a woman doesn't just want to be with, but dreams of being with. Subscribe, hit the next video, and we'll dive deeper into the most exciting part,